Between 1929 and 1939, the whole world experienced an unprecedented economic crisis, known as the Great Depression. Many people struggled to make ends meet, and suddenly they had to live in extreme poverty. And one such family was Ira and Ann Yates and their children, who bought a sheep ranch in West Texas in the United States just before the economic crisis struck. Consequently, they suddenly had a massive problem. They had lots of land, but also a lot of debt, and their ranch wasn't making enough money to pay off their huge mortgage, which meant that they were in danger of losing their ranch and with it, their only income. Like many others of that era, they had very little money for food, and so they had to live on a government subsidy. Day after day, Ira Yates felt stuck while tending his sheep. It was their only income, but he knew it wasn't enough to pay the bills. And then one day, out of the blue, a seismographic crew from an oil company visited him on his farm and asked permission to drill a test well to see if there was any oil on his farm. Yates agreed and signed the lease contract. At just over 1,100 feet, the drillers struck oil. And not a little bit. The first well came in at 80,000 barrels a day. And that was only the beginning. Many subsequent wells were dug, some more than twice as productive as the first. In fact, by the year 2000, Yates Field, as it's now known, was still one of the top 10 producers of oil in the United States. It was worth an absolute fortune, and the Yateses owned it all. The irony is that while Ira and Ann Yates were living on a government subsidy, consumed with worries about how to get out of their predicament, the solution was already right under their feet. They just didn't realize it. Friends, maybe the same is true of you. Maybe you are consumed with worries, trying your utmost to figure out how to get more out of the sheep on your ranch, while the solution could be that you're already sitting on an oil field. And therefore, may I encourage you to ask yourself whether there may be another option that you are missing? Maybe all you need is someone else to point out the potential you already have, just like the seismographic team that helped the Yateses. Either way, open yourself to the possibility that the solution may be slightly different than what you expected. And who knows, you may just discover a fortune right under your feet.